Welcome back. In the video you're about to watch, I played 2 rapid games. And just like the last one in which I played 2 rapid games, I got the black pieces twice in a row. So I think that makes 4 times in a row. But that's okay. I need to practice with the black pieces just as well as I do with the white pieces. I'm not going to spoil how these games turned out. As expected at my rating level, there were some blunders on both sides. Both sides had chances. So anyway, let's just switch over to the game board and hopefully you'll get something out of this. I'm going to try the 10+5 time control today. I said in one of my previous videos that I don't ever get paired when I try that time control, but who knows? Maybe I will get paired. If not, I'll switch it back to 10+0. Oh, I did get paired, but somebody significantly below my rating level. So hopefully they won't win because then I'll lose a bunch of points. Oh, we're going to get the accelerated Panov attack, I think is what that's called. When they throw that C pawn. Then what happens? Do they take? And I take back? No, they push past. Okay. I haven't seen that variation very often, certainly not in the 1100s. Let's just go and see what happens. They're going to check me here probably with the bishop. No, they're not. They're waiting for me to put my knight there. Okay. Well, I can check them, I guess, in order to get this bishop out. And then I can put this knight out behind it, I think. If they take with the if they block with the dark squared bishop, okay, they blocked with the knight. That allows me to get this knight out here and then this way, I think. But it depends on, obviously, on what my opponent does. If they challenge this bishop, I have to trade here. They didn't challenge that bishop. Okay, I'm going to castle. And I think my opponent is too because they got their light squared bishop out. Okay, how can I get that pawn? I guess I can put this knight here to put another attacker on that pawn. Can also drop this bishop back and put this knight up here to add another attacker to that pawn. I assume they're going to push this pawn here at some point, but there's no guarantee. They're going to try to pin this knight. Okay. Well, it's protected by the other knight right now. I guess I could forget about their d-pawn for a moment and force this issue here with the h-pawn. If they take, obviously I can take back with my queen or my bishop or my knight. And then I'll have a space to put my light squared bishop if I need to. So let's do that. But I don't know which piece would be better to take back with. Probably, oh, they're going to attack my bishop. Okay. If I don't take and I move back, they're just going to throw the other pawn forward. So I guess I'll go ahead and take. I can get my queen out of this pin now, but where? Should I go here, aiming for that undefended pawn? And that gets my queen out of that pin. And that knight's still defended by the other knight. I don't know why I shouldn't do that. Now I only have one choice to take back here. Oh wow, I should have just taken their bishop. Wow, that was a blunder, wasn't it? Or a miss, whatever they're going to call it. Yeah, I should have just taken their bishop. Okay, well that's embarrassing. Well, I took it now. They can take that pawn back with their knight, or they can take this pawn. If they take this pawn, I think I can... Okay, they took back there. Should I defend this pawn one way or the other by moving it forward perhaps, or should I put the rook behind it? I'm just not sure. I can also I was going to say here, but their bishop's guarding that square. I can defend it by dropping the queen back, but then if they trade queens, I'll have doubled my pawns. So I'm going to drop my queen back right in here to defend this pawn, and also there was no point in my queen being out there anymore. I shouldn't have moved it in the first place. I'm up a piece, but down a pawn. Okay, what can I do about that knight? Now it's locked in there, so we're in some sort of like fried liver attack, almost, except I don't have a piece that can take it. I don't want to put this knight here, because then they'll just push this forward. But then I could put my knight up there, attacking their undefended bishop. I think that's okay, right? If they push forward to protect the undefended pawn, then I can go here to hit that undefended bishop. They might choose to defend the pawn this way. They didn't, okay. Well, I'm going to attack their undefended bishop this way, see where it goes, and then if it stays on this diagonal, of course, then it'll continue guarding that pawn. But if it gets off the diagonal, I don't know where it might go, then I could take that pawn. But I feel like I've already made multiple mistakes besides failing to take the bishop with the pawn when I should have. Feels like there's something else that I've missed. Okay, they've defended the bishop. Okay. I'm up a piece for a pawn, so I could go ahead and trade off for that. Let's see, what else could I do? I'm going to do it because I don't know what else to do, and I am a little worried about this pawn coming in, but I don't know if I should. If I bring the bishop back, they could take it with their knight. I'll take with my queen, and then my king, and then my king will be exposed to, say, checks like this. Putting another knight over there doesn't make any sense. I feel like this knight is misplaced right now, See, if I push this pawn forward and they take, and I take, then I've got this lone pawn left. Yeah, so I have no idea. Guess I could push this pawn and try to break open something here, but their knight is really well placed right now, isn't it? Wait, their knight isn't defended right now. What if I went after their knight? They'll probably defend it with their queen, I guess, maybe moving it over one. Or I suppose they could throw another pawn forward to defend the knight at that point, and then I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, wow. They read my mind. Well, that allows my bishop to go in here. No, their knight's guarding that square too. So is there no way I can get rid of that knight? What about this? Can we get rid of the knight this way? They take, can take with the pawn, and then they have to move the knight someplace. But then my king's completely open, and I'm going to end up moving my king back around somewhere. Now maybe I can force the issue with that pawn? Well, then they'll move it forward one, won't they? I assume they're going to move that pawn forward one. And then I don't know if I probably shouldn't take, right? Because that opens my king. But then I guess I could hide behind there. No, because then they can check over here. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to do it. Then when I hide here, I'll open a file for my rook pointed at their king. Their king has moved. Okay. Well, then let's lock this bishop in place this way, and now I can get my queen out if I need to. As soon as that knight moves. Oh, okay, I need to protect that pawn. I can take their knight, but then I can't check here because their rook is guarding that square. So I'm going to have to move my rook around or something, and then try to get my queen over here. I have a little bit more space to maneuver on the queen side, but where is that thing going? Oh, they're going to try to double up here. Okay. Well, I can defend that pawn this way if I need to. I can also defend it by moving forward one, where the bishop will defend that pawn, but then they could sacrifice for it. But yeah, I am going to defend that pawn like this. No, but then they put the knight in there. Oh, if they put the knight in there, I'll take their queen. Wait, I can defend it like this for now. Let's do that. That defends this. Then I can put the rook up there maybe. Oh, they took it anyway? Okay. I think I went up a point there, didn't I? Queen for 2 rooks. Okay, they're coming after this pawn now, which is the only thing protecting that knight. So I need to defend that pawn this way. Or should I defend it this way? I think I'll defend the pawn with my G rook for now. Then I can bring this rook over and come down the open G file. Maybe. Okay, they've gotten their knight out of danger. I can... oh, they're going after that pawn. I can defend that pawn that way, but then that undefends the other pawn. Can also defend that pawn this way. I think that's good. The knight's protecting that, the pawn's protecting that, the knight. Rooks are protecting these pawns. But they have pawns over here that can start marching down. However, as soon as that C pawn moves, I can take their D pawn. Like right now. Oh, I just lost a rook. I did just lose a rook. Wow. I thought I had lost a rook, but I didn't. Okay. Well, I need to double my rooks then, don't I? Maybe this way? My knight's hanging. Okay. What can I do about my knight? I can threaten their queen this way. I can go after the pawn that's defending their knight. And my bishop's protecting that spot. Let me do that. They can pick up that pawn if they want to. Then I can double my rooks here maybe. But I want to get that pawn, the F pawn, because that's the only thing defending their knight right now. Okay. Well, they did that. Should we make the queen move? I feel like I've already lost, even though I'm up on material, technically speaking. But as usual, it's partially because my confidence is shot, that I feel like I'm behind all the time. But it very well might not be the case. At least this time I saw that my rook was hanging and I went to protect it. And it's also protecting that pawn. Both rooks are protecting each other. Okay, they got that pawn and they're hitting this rook. I mean, I can save the rook by moving it forward, but... oh, and then their knight will be pinned. Would that be good? Let's do that. That good? I don't know. Now if they go to save their queen, get their queen out of that pin, then I take that knight too, right? No. No, I don't. I want to move this bishop here so I can hit that pawn. Would that be a good idea? I feel like they're about to shove this pawn forward and then... oh, but then I can take the knight. But then they push that pawn forward again. And then when I take their queen, they promote. Well, I wouldn't have to take their queen though, right? I could... oh no, I couldn't drop one back at that point. I may already be lost. I don't know. Let me threaten their queen real quick. See what happens with that. That's what happened with that. Okay. Well, that worked out well for me, didn't it? Or, oh no, it didn't. I just lost to an 1100. Well, some of you have been watching me play chess for a while and you know that I'm inconsistent. Others of you have only been watching for a little while and I probably look like I'm really bad to you. The game review says we played with about the same accuracy, but clearly we didn't, because my opponent had a checkmate plan and I did not. My opponent made 3 great moves according to this, but they did have a blunder, 3 misses, 2 mistakes, and a bunch of inaccuracies. I had 1 more mistake and 1 more blunder, but fewer misses. Okay. Yeah, my queen, that was my miss there, queen to a5, when I should have taken their bishop, right? I was up +3, and I'm guessing I should have taken their bishop right then. Yes, h captures g5. I don't know why after this trade down here, I didn't just take the bishop. But I don't think that was my biggest lead, according to this. Looks like I was up as much as -4.7. Okay, that looks like my biggest lead right there, and it looks like I gave it away slowly. -4.7 here, when their king came forward. Okay, it wasn't 4.7, it was -3.5, and I should have taken here. But instead I pushed forward for unknown reasons. Okay, but so I didn't take there. That was inaccurate, and that took us down to -2. My opponent played one of their better moves, which was to hit that pawn. I had to defend it with the king, but I was supposed to go forward 1, not diagonal. But I went diagonal for some reason to h7. That was my 3rd best move. Oh, I could have just moved it forward, and that would have protected it with the bishop. I thought about that later, but I could have done it here, and that would have been better than what I played. Okay, then that was inaccurate on their part, and I should have taken the knight. No, I should have played rook to g8. I did play rook to g8. Okay, so I'm still up here. I knew I was up on material, but I felt like I was locked in a position and I couldn't do anything about it because they had these extra pawns, well, this extra pawn, that was really supporting this, because somehow in this version of the Caro-Kann defense, I don't ever get rid of that pawn. I played my 2nd best move here. No, they played their 2nd best move there. Sorry, it was their turn. And okay, I thought of that, but I didn't do it for some reason. I played my 2nd best move, which was so bad that was counted as a mistake. And it was one of their best moves to take. It says it's a miss. Why is it a miss? It's rated almost identically with the other 3 moves. Rook captures h6 check is rated the same, within a very few percentage points of those other moves. So that's not a miss, that's a mistake of the game review. Look at the game review saying it was -2, but it's actually -0.6. And of course it was my best move to take. Now here, they should have checked with the knight. If they had checked with the knight, I would have had to have taken that with my rook, and then they would have taken my rook with their pawn. But instead they checked there, which it said was best, but it's not. Okay, yeah, that's a full mistake. And again, this is another case where the game review is way off, because taking my queen with the rook would have been, it's a full point from -0.7 to -1.7. So yeah, so that should have been counted as at least inaccurate, if not a mistake, because of how it changed the game review there, or how it changed the evaluation. Their best move was queen to b5. Oh, and I should have taken the knight here. But instead I tried to protect this pawn, and that was a mistake, but it didn't change the evaluation that much. And here they did play their best move, which was knight to g5. This is one of my 2 best moves to defend that pawn. Notice here it says c4 is their best move, and that's what they played. But the game review counted that as inaccurate. That was their best move. It was not my best move to take with the knight. I should have taken with the pawn. That was a blunder. Okay, that's the move that lost me the game. Oh, that's where I hung the rook, and they should have taken the rook, but they didn't. They moved the queen out of danger instead of taking my rook. So I lost to somebody that wouldn't just take my free rook. That tells you how bad I am right now. I played my best move here. That was my best move. That was their best move. Here I should have taken this pawn or put my knight on c3. My 3rd best move was to move the d-pawn forward. Knight to c3, d-pawn forward, or d-pawn takes, but instead I challenged the queen with that, which is a mistake. Gave my opponent advantage. They played one of their better moves. My best move is rook g to e7, but rook e to e7 is also very close, and that's what I played. Counts that as inaccurate, but it was very close. They should have taken here now, but instead they took with the knight, which counted as a miss and brought us to even. That was brilliant. Or sorry, that was great. That kept us at even. That kept us at even. They needed to play queen to d6 here, but instead they did that, which is a mistake, and gave me a slight advantage. I should have taken the knight with my knight, which I did. Now if they check, I can block with the rook, but instead they took there, and I had to come forward with my king, to g7 or h7 to keep the queen from coming down in here because their pawn's guarding that square. I had to right now either block the check, the coming check with my rook, or move my king to one of those two squares to keep from being checked there. But instead I blundered mate and won. And my opponent found it. Well, that took longer than I thought it should have. And it's probably a mistake, but you know what? I'm going to play another one. I'm going to go back to 10. I'm surprised I got paired at 10 plus 5, so I might try that again in the future. But I didn't lose that game because of time. I lost that game because I just kept missing stuff. Is that the 4th time in a row I've got the black pieces? I think it's the 4th time in a row that I've gotten black. Seems like I got black both times in my previous video, and now I just got black both times again here. I don't know why we shouldn't pin that knight. Let's see, let's get this knight out, and then we can play e5, I think. Well, I was going to play e5, but I'm not now. I mean, I could go after their bishop now, but then it probably moves here, and when I take, they'll open up their file for the rook. Well, let's just do this. We'll get this bishop out this way, or maybe all the way over there if they don't castle. What is it with the lower in rating I go, the more I see this over and over and over. It's not even a thing right now. I can just put the rook there. That must be a tactic that I missed when I was in my early chess training, but I keep running into it. Oh, that was a mouse slip. No, I meant to challenge that. Oh my goodness. Once again, 2 videos in a row. I don't know how to move my mouse. I meant to hit that on A6. Well, things are not going well for me, and I shouldn't complain because they went well for me for a while. But I'm going to pretend like I meant to do that. If they take here, I'll take back. They didn't take there. Okay. Don't know where to put this bishop, but I need to castle. I'm going to put it here for now. Again, if they take this knight, I'll take back. Don't know what else they're trying to do here. I do know they've gotten several minor pieces. They've got all their pieces developed, which is better than I did until just now. So I think my opponent's doing pretty well. Lining up with the bishop, that can't be bad. I still think I need to castle. And here in just a second, I'm just going to go ahead and take that knight anyway, whether or not they push this pawn forward to protect it. Just because it's getting annoying, having a knight in there that close. Well, 2 in this case. Okay, they finally took it. All right. And now they need to move that one somewhere. Since I missed hitting it with this pawn, I finally got to hit it with the c-pawn. Well, my new c-pawn. Where's it going to go? I mean, there's only... Okay, I guess they got 3 choices to choose from. Or 4. They could go there. But, okay, they went there. That's kind of what I figured they would do. We're even on material. I really don't want to pull this trade, but I want to push this pawn, but the pawn's not defended right now. Oh, I could bring the knight back and defend that pawn, right? Wait, okay, their knights, both of those pawns are defended from their knight right now. So I'm going to do this and try to play e5, which would be a pawn fork if they let me do it. They might not. They might not have any idea why I pulled this knight back, but they probably do. It looks like they do. So now if I pull it forward, they can take it. And when I take, they will have gained a pawn out of that deal. So we're not going to do that now. Although now I can push my f pawn forward and then push that forward. Gain a little bit more space, a little bit more breathing room. Oh, okay, we're going to play h4. All right. Everybody wants to play h4 these days. Bye-bye. Okay. Now I can put this bishop here, so I have 2 defenders on that pawn. Then when I move this pawn, oh no, I messed up. I wanted to move this pawn while my bishop was still here. Now I can't. And now I can't take or move this pawn forward because my bishop's undefended. I will defend this file this way, I guess. See if they'll take. I don't know if they're going to take or waiting for me to take. I wasn't going to. I was going to push past, but my bishop's still undefended. But I can bring my bishop back down this way now, maybe. I don't know. They have 3 attackers on that pawn. Well, I'm not sure what that move did, other than continue hitting both of these places. Okay, well again, my bishop's undefended, but you know what? I could drop it back 1, and then it would be defended by the rook. But I didn't want to drop it there, and I certainly don't want to take a defender off of this pawn. But yeah, when I moved the pawn in the first place, I wanted my rook and queen lined up here back when they only had their knight guarding the h-pawn, but I messed up, got the moves out of order. Thought about doing this to maybe distract that pawn off to the side, but that leaves this pawn undefended. Okay, we're going to defend the bishop this way, so I can move that pawn if I need to. All right, I'm going to move it. There we go. They can take the bishop, and I can take back 2 different ways. Oh, but they didn't. Okay, I'll take their bishop. Now their king is open. If I can get on this diagonal, which I can. First, I need to get rid of that pawn, don't I? Actually, I can go here now, I think. I'm not threatening that pawn just yet, but I am threatening their b pawn. And then I can push my c pawn, which will threaten a problem here. That's my plan. Okay, they protected their b pawn. I'm going to push my c pawn. Okay. Well, that took care of that, didn't it? Okay. See, what other way can I attack that pawn? I can attack two pawns this way. And my rook is defended. I'm not worried about that. They might advance this one, trying to attack my queen. But in that case, I would go here and force a queen trade, I think. They moved their queen over, to hit the rook, I guess? Okay. Well, I am going to get a free pawn out of this. Should I take with the rook? I think I should take with the rook, because that's going to give us a discovered check here in just a second. That's my plan. I'm going to do something like this, but they'll probably move their king. That's what most people do. They would move their king. Oh, they didn't move their king. Okay, that knight's undefended. But I can defend that knight. I can defend the knight after this check, and then I can defend the knight by moving it, for one thing. Protected. It does take one rook off that front pawn, but I think I was okay there. Okay, oh, this is undefended. Well, let's do something about that. I could just go here, or I could just move this pawn up, but then their queen gets in a little closer. Let's protect this rook by coming all the way over here where it lines up with that rook. I should be able to get that pawn. I'm going to go ahead and move here, protect the knight this way. There were a couple of loud noises. Whenever I shift, my chair makes a popping sound. I don't know if that's good or not, but let's go this way. Probably not the best idea to trade queens at this point, but I felt like I was a pawn ahead and I'm about to pick up another one. So, and I have two connected pawns in the middle. Oh, they did that. They're trying to do something sneaky in here. Okay, that left this pawn undefended though, and that rook's undefended. But if I take that pawn, they're going to get this one. Okay. I mean, they might get that one. I don't know. They've done some things I didn't quite expect. Well, they're not going to get it now because they have to worry about this rook first. So they either need to bring back their f rook or bring their e rook over to the f file. And then maybe I can advance a pawn. Oh no, they're not going for mate. I've got that covered, I think. Let's check. Naturally. Let's see, where should I go? I should go here just in case I need to block a check. And it also helps defend this pawn, right? Well, that pawn's not under attack though. And they're not coming for mate. So I'm going to take this pawn, aiming over here. Okay, now they're not sure what they're looking at here. They came back to protect that pawn, I suppose. I'm just gonna go here and see if they want to trade queens. They didn't want to trade queens. They're aiming for mate, okay? But they can't have it because they just hung their queen. Do I win now? I do win. Oh, I got 9 points for that. How many did I lose at the beginning of the first one? All right, this video went on quite some time. Let's click the game review. That opponent was rated 100 points higher than the previous one, but I felt like they played worse. They just flat out hung their rook and then hung their queen. Now the queen part might have been in desperation. They didn't know what else to do. But the rook part, I wasn't sure about that. The opponent before that I thought played much better. This one says I had 2 misses and a mistake. Looks like I had a huge advantage early and then gave it all away, right there. When my opponent took something here, that was inaccurate. And though the game review says I had a -4, I actually only had a -2. And here I needed to check and then win this knight. No, I wouldn't have won the knight. They would have blocked with it. But then I would have played d4. Okay, so I had to have checked right there. -1.9. That was my only move that... Well, this is where I did the misclick. Or miss mouse slip, or whatever you call it. I was trying to move right here to force this knight to do something. And I thought it would go back. How bad would it have been if I just did that? That would have taken us to even? Okay. But what I did wasn't any worse. It's still even. Really? Okay, well then I don't feel so bad. We were still even, or very close to even, just as we would have been if I had made the move I wanted to. But here what I had to do was check. They would have dropped their knight back, probably, because any other move would have lost the knight. So they would have dropped back. Then I should have played d4 because the knight's pinned, and I would have... That's why it's -2, is because I would have won the knight for a pawn. But I gave that advantage away, and then where did my opponent start giving it back? It was a long, slow road. according to the game review. -1, -2, -3. Looks like a bunch of inaccuracies in a row is what led to me having such a big advantage. So not one huge blunder. I thought they made a huge blunder when they hung their rook. What's that? I played like a 1350. Well, 1350 is right near my peak. So let's see, where did I take their rook? That was right here, right? Okay, that was a mistake. Let's see. Oh, it's -43. Oh, no, made in 19. Oh, what was it before that? Okay, see, it was -2 here. -3. And I said they probably need to bring this rook over or bring this rook back. Rook F to F1 is their second best move. Queen to D1 is their best move because this rook is under attack and it's not protected. So it was definitely a problem. Yeah, it says mistake, and that's a blunder because it took us, as you saw, from -3 to at least -17. A second ago, Stockfish found a mating sequence. My best move is to take, obviously, so I took. They only have one legal move here, and my best move was E3. Oh, I guess I see that. My second best move was to take that pawn, which still leaves us with a mating sequence. That shortened the mating sequence quite a bit. What I should have done right now is just check. Oh, wow. I should have sacrificed the rook. The queen would have blocked, but then I would have gotten this with check. They would have blocked with the queen, but then I would have brought this rook down. They would have had to have stepped back. Then I would have taken their queen. Then they would have had to move over, and then that would have been mate. Wow. I hope you got something out of this. Probably not. It looks like I played pretty poorly in both games, although in this one I did win. So kind of like my last video with 2 rapid games, I lost the first one and then won the second one. But I think my rating still dropped a net of 2 points, just like it did in that previous one. And I got black pieces both times again. So, but anyway, I hope you got something out of this. I do appreciate you spending your time here, and we'll see you next time.